All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel. Peace, salutations to the Akim in the four corners, pushing the truth with sincerity. Peace be unto you and Shalom. This video is we're going to get into it. It's going to be about vengeance, the day of vengeance that burns in Yahushai's heart. Matter of fact, I didn't plan on going there, but Revelations chapter 1. And if you have a ruling class mentality, you want revenge too. I want revenge on other nations. I want revenge on some of these niggas. Because really they are other nations, and when they are not operating and grafted in, they're Gentiles. And they get the judgment of Gentiles. Revelations 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So, those that pierced him, they're going to see. Yahweh Shai is going to get revenge on them. He's going to get revenge on the other nations, not just because we got to remember, according to Psalms 83, took crafty counsel and consulted against the hidden ones, which was us. So he is not the only one. The other nations that's talked about again in Psalms chapter 83, they're going to have to pay for it. And what's funny is that the the nations that is in confederate with, they're all turning on him. Even the NATO nations, the beast. You're gonna have some of these NATO nations that's gonna turn on this beast. China is at odds. You got tariffs going on, a tariff war going on between them, and also dispute over the Taiwan island, and also the China Sea, where so much merchandise is shipped through ships through there. So it's gonna be a great judgment against E. The other nations gonna get revenge on them by shooting at them. Yahweh Shai, the elect, are gonna get revenge as well. But the thing is, when other nations, them shooting their missiles and arrows at Babylon, it's not like they're about to be on top. Yeah, you got to play part in the downfall in the sense that you shot your missiles, but they not about to rule. They don't got anything coming. Going over here in Micah chapter 5 and verse 15, it says, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Such as they have not heard. That's the key word. Now, everybody's heard of warfare, trenches. Everybody's heard of atomic bombs. We heard about that at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Everybody's heard about uh, sword fighting, Gatling guns, gunpowder, tomahawk missiles, submarine torpedoes. I mean, this ain't new. Airplanes, stealth bombers, chemical warfare. Everybody's heard about all of this. What have they not heard about? What have you never seen in a war? You've never seen in a war a so-called what do they call it? Identified aerial phenomenal, IAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, whatever they call them now. They're not. They've nobody's ever heard of a UFO coming down and raging war. Nobody's never heard of Yahushai or seen Yahushai come down from his chariot and start firing concentrated fire laser beams out with a high blast, destroying other nations. Nobody's ever heard of that. So we're going to get an ass whooping that they ain't never seen, never could expect, never heard about. This is why it's going to be say, greater is he that delivered us out of the land of the north, as opposed to in Egypt. You know, we done seen all type of war tactics. We done seen mercenaries get hired and all types of stuff. You know, but this war that's going on, that's why it says there was war in the heavens in Revelation chapter 12. A lot of Christians think about it's talking about war in heaven. Oh man, yeah, the devil and his angels was fighting with God and his angels, and they lost and they got kicked out of the earth, and everything just been bad since. No, the war in heaven has not happened yet. The war in heaven is in the skies, because you got the spiritual realm, heaven, and you have like the sky. That's also called heaven as well. Then where the Most High dwells at is heaven. There's not war on the Most High's throne. Heaven is his throne, and the earth is his footstool. So there's going to be war on his footstool, but the what they call the ozone, the atmosphere of the earth. So in the skies where you see clouds and stuff like that, that's heaven as well. But that's not where the heavenly Father resides. So the war in heaven is talking about that heaven. You look up in the skies, you see clouds and stuff like that because you're going to see airplanes. You're going to see again so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Most High, which are represents Israel's salvation. Represents also death and destruction to all these other nations because they're not getting salvation. You're not about to see a Moabite or Ammonite or Ishmaelite or Midianite get beamed up. Now you might see some people that look like those because why? Because we were scattered. It's according to the curses of Deuteronomy. We will be scattered among all nations. And because we scattered amongst all nations, guess what? We took upon the traits of these other nations and took on the women of these other nations, gave birth, and our genes are now being passed on. And guess what? We look like those other nations. You know, a woman's uh, DNA has a lot of influence on how a child looks. You take a child, you take a man, and you have let's say he's just a regular Southern tribe, and he has a child with an Ammonite woman, and she has strong Ammonite features. Well, her DNA is still going to appear in those child's physical features. However, nevertheless, that child is going to be what the father is. That's why children have the last name of the father, or that's they supposed to. You got some NBs, they have they give the child the mother's last name, but it's supposed to be the father. When a woman gets married, what happens? She takes on the man's last name. Why? Because your she's now his property, and whatever kids are there, because you're supposed to have, you know, kids after the wedding and the ceremony and stuff like that. That kid would have the last name of both parents, which actually came from the father. But there's not going to be no other nations that's going to be getting part of this salvation. Now, far as after all these other nations serve slavery, yeah, they'll be able to get their lands back. That's why Revelation chapter 20 said the rest of the dead live not. A matter of fact, let me grab that. I think it's 20 in verse 4. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 5. Revelation 20 and 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Rest of the dead is talking about the other nations. They'll be able to get their land back. They'll be able to have some sense of normalcy. Will they be on the level of us? No, absolutely not. But that's vengeance. Vengeance. And then afterwards, get your lands back. And we still gonna be knocking these other nations upside their head when they go off. Who don't want revenge? If you've been wrong, you don't want revenge. Let somebody go up to you and smack you upside the head. You don't want payback. You don't want no type of revenge. And on that note, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel. Peace and salutations and shalom.